That is my problem with that mower. I've been doing a little research, and that mower, it's a nice John Deere I bought from an older man in Mount Sterling, and I've been using it. I change mowers a lot. I'll sell them sometimes in the winter, and then I'll get other ones, but I really like zero turns the most. But that John Deere's great. It's got a foot pedal on it, but it's been having issues, and the guy told me it died on him one time, and he said he decided to get rid of it after that, but I think all it is that little vacuum hose. I mean, sometimes it can seem like a big issue. It definitely seems like it's a fuel problem, because I will choke it and it will help it a little, but it'll still die. And so it was kind of letting me know for some reason it seems to be starving for fuel. Which that vacuum line, when it's got a hole in it, it affects the fuel delivery. So it's not getting fuel like it needs to with that hole in it. But now I've got that hose, so it's starting to sprinkle a little bit right now. But we're going to get a grocery order, and then I'm planning to come back home, and I'm going to try to mow, Lord willing, if it don't rain. If it does rain, then for the next 3 days, it's supposed to be sunny and in the 90s. And if it rains, what I'm planning to do is go onto the state mill and get some more wood, maybe even a couple loads today. All right, we got the grocery order. We're heading home now. Got some fireworks set up over there, fireworks stand. Kind of does look like it might rain today. I used to deliver to Walmarts for a company called Snyder, and nighttime driving. Didn't do it that long. The pay I was very disappointed with. As soon as I got it, wasn't what kind of what they made it out to be. So didn't stay there very long, and driving at nighttime was different as well. So I slept during the day for that job and drove at nighttime. But so we got the grocery order. We got that back there. I always just put it in the bed usually, and I always get out and help them. I can't sit there and watch somebody else load my groceries when I have the opportunity to help. I know they're paid to do that and stuff like that, but it doesn't make it go faster, but it makes it so much easier, those orders, because used to I would either go in with my wife and walk around for like an hour or two with her, or me and the kid would sit in the vehicle and wait on her for an hour or two, and neither one did I like. So now she can just do them online through Walmart and order everything she wants and pay for it online, and then all you gotta do is show up there and pick it up, and that makes it so much easier. You check in when you get there, or you can call when you get there, and they bring it out to you and load it. But like I said, I always get out and load it. I've seen lots of people sit there and just let them, and I understand some people's elderly and stuff, but I've seen lots of young men and stuff just sit there and let them do it. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. I had some people at Ace Hardware one time. I bought something from there. Can't remember what it was, maybe concrete or something. And I started to pick it up, and he had a couple young men there, and he said, they'll carry that for you. And I said, and I know he's just trying to be friendly, but I said, I'll be all right. I said, I don't like other men carrying my stuff for me. And they kind of laughed at it. They knew where I was getting at, but I can't hardly do that. I can't let other men work for me and me sit there and watch them. I'm not wanting to be served. You know, I understand sometimes that people have jobs do that, but if I'm able to help, I'm going to help. Alright, so we're getting gas, and also getting some mixed gas for the weed eater. And we got a very good deal just now on those drinks. I'll show them to you. So he had this in there for 50 cents a drink, and sparkling grape.
What, is that sparkling water?
I think so. Sparkling cherry lime, and then sparkling watermelon. I told him how much those would normally be, and he said, I'll make you a deal. And I said, how much? He said, give me $11 for the whole thing. So $10, I think, is what I gave him, wasn't it? $10 for every one of those. Those are probably like $3 or $4 each normally. So, and normally I don't drink energy drinks, but I think those are like sparkling water ones. I look and kind of when I get home, but I was just going to get 4 or so, and then he offered that deal, so I said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I think these are like sparkling water. Celsius, Live Fit, Central Watermelon Ice, Energy Plus, Essential Performance, 0 sugar, and 0 carbs. I'm on that low carb diet, so we got a whole thing of those. I mean, I would say one of these is probably normally around $3 at least, every bit of it. And I got like 22 of them for $11. How much for the case? And he told me. I said, all right. Sounds good. So this store is a Shell, and it's in Camargo, and I stop here a lot. I like to promote places. These people are very friendly here. A1 Food Mart, see, in Camargo. If you're ever in this little town, Camargo, this is a good place here. for gas if you want to get gas. Right now it's $2.79 a gallon for regular. And I'm going to show you a place that's a fantastic place to eat that many people know about already. And it's healthy, it's really good quality. It's sub sandwiches, but they've got all kinds of different things. And they've got a lot other stuff there as well.
Chips and drinks.
They've got chips and drinks, and they've got like cookies and all that stuff too. But it's a Mennonite-owned store. Right there it is. It's called the Walnut Leaf. I've shown it before, but man, they have the best subs around. So here's the scrapyard you see me stop at sometimes up here. Camargo, just a little drive-through town, but it's got some little places I really like a lot. There's Camargo South Junkyard. You ever need any parts? And Wildcat Recycling right there. What kind you get?
Sparkling cherry lime.
Sparkling cherry lime. And I got sparkling watermelon. I don't know if these are sparkling waters or what. I guess that's kind of what they are.
Give me a coin.
Carter can't even open his. What a weenie. Has to use a penny.
It works.
All right.
There. Finally got it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
That's delicious.
That's good too.
That's good.
That's good. I wonder what they are. Are they water? All right, I've got some weed eating to do. So, got to weed eat this area here, get it cleaned up a little bit. I've got a little border there, but it's so overgrown you can't hardly tell. And there's a couple plants in there. That old bird bath I got from a guy at a farm that I did a lot of landscaping for and weed eating lawn care. He said it had been there 20 years when I got it. That thing is heavy. And then over here on this side as well.
As I kneel in the darkness, in the middle of the night, praying for assurance, everything's gonna be alright. Lord, I see another battle, it's out in front of me. I'm afraid I won't be able, and I'll go down in defeat. But he says, do you remember where I brought you from? Just take a look behind you at how far you've come. And every time you ask me, didn't I deliver you? So why would you be thinking that I would not see you through? And didn't I walk on the water, and I calmed the raging sea? I spoke to the wind, it hushed and I gave you peace. Didn't I come to your rescue? Didn't I hear you when you called? I walked right beside you just so you wouldn't fall.
Alright, so we're cleaning this trailer off because we're heading to the stave mill. I'm trying these out.
Suspenders.
Yeah, Dan Barth was talking about them. I think he had seen bucking with them, and I've seen guys use them too. And I'm trying to get used to them. These are cheap. I just got them at a local Tractor Supply. But so I'm trying to get adjusted to them and figure them out. I want to get me a good leather pair. But I can definitely see, I've noticed in my own videos how often I'm pulling my pants up. And I don't want to keep doing that. It was just like Amish the other day.
Oh yeah, you're wearing black pants.
Black pants and blue shirt. And
Them.
there was an Amish guy. And he was coming out, him and his wife. And me and Carter was kind of joking. And I said, Papa. We were dressed almost just alike at that time, except I didn't have the hat, you know, and the beard.
Yeah. Give him a straw hat and give him a beard, and there you go. He's an Amish. Oh, well, not an Amish, but looks just like one.
So we're getting this cleaned off because going to the stave mill, and I've got a couple loads of wood to do right now. One full cord to sell, and then also a truckload. And the guy got a hold of me that's got some cabins in the county next to us here, county we used to live in, Powell County. He's got a bunch of cabins, and then another guy has one cabin that he rents out. He's wanting wood restocked there, and he's got a tree he's wanting cut up and split there. So, and then Saturday I've got a full cord to deliver. So, been pretty busy with work here lately. It's still sometimes it can be slow and sometimes it can be so busy that it's hard to keep up with, which is what I like. Really, that's what I like. Baby.
That last year we had
I'll tell you something, I'm gonna get me again. I used to have a backpack blower, but I'd like to have a little handheld one because like for this right here, it makes it so much easier.
Oh yeah, that would make it easy, wouldn't it?
Ooh. Circular.
What?
Circular.
Tubular?
Is this chalk?
Yeah. Imagine if it wasn't.
You never heard that word, have you? Circular.
No, what does that mean?
Circular. This is before your time. Goodness, all the way from the back now. Alright, so now we just got to get all these pavers unloaded. These are good pavers.
Yep.
So they also sent me the 3-in-1 forestry tool today, log ox did, so I'm excited about doing that. So
That's why we're going to the state mill.
I had one, but I don't know if it had all the pieces to it.
It has a...
But this one's a little, it's sharper on the tip and stuff, and it's a little different than the one I got from Steve, but they're very handy tools, and I wouldn't say that unless I really believed it. So I'm planning to show that today at the stave mill, and then when I get home as well. So
It actually,
a lot of work to do today.
this one actually has the picker room piece.
That's heavy. Don't walk too far this way.
Yeah.
I bet that's what it was. Hey. We got that, we got the tire valve fixed. We got a new tire valve put in. And now we're heading to the stave mill. So, Curtis is supposed to be meeting us there. We did a live just now, and then now we're heading to a stave mill, but Curtis said he had something for us, so very kind of Curtis, and it's always good to hear from Curtis. There's some people that when you hear from them, you know, it just brings a smile to your face. Curtis is one of those people. Just a very kind man, and it's always good to hear from him. But anyways, we're heading that way now, and I'm planning to get quite a bit of wood. I've got quite a bit at home already, but I'm not wanting to take out of that, you know. I'm trying to accumulate it while selling it periodically as well. So we're heading to the stave mill. It's pretty hot, not as hot as it has been. Probably around 80, I'm guessing right now. And I think it's around, we should get there around 6:30 or so. And I'm not positive if we're gonna split the wood and then load it or just load the wood. It just depends on if the workers are there or not. If they're not there, we may go ahead and just split a trailer load of wood, Lord willing. All right, here we are at the stave mill. There's a pile of logs. I'm gonna go ahead and get turned around here so I can back in. Carter, you wanna record for a little bit? Yeah, back there looks cleared out. On it.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's good shade to work in too. I don't know if they hired somebody to come in here and clear this out or what, but last time it was like up to there. Actually, I think up to there, on up past my truck. Now we're back in here again. And the good thing is, this time of day, that's why I wanted to come a little later, is because we've got shade here to work in. All that's shaded over there, which makes a huge difference. So it's probably close to 6 right now. A lot of wood here, a lot of good stuff to split. Quite a few in this pile, and I got a guy wanting some short stuff, and then the other one's a cabin, so for bonfires, I think. So they probably don't really care what size it is. So we're gonna go ahead and start splitting here. I'm just gonna use it. And as you can see, I'm gonna get my wood kind of close. One way to release is to grab that and just pull back. One of the people that I'm getting it for wants short stuff, so that works good. The other one, yeah, some of this is tough splitting stuff. I can tell by the look. Actually, a lot of this is tough splitting stuff. Like this is not going to be easy splitting at all. Curtis just left. There he goes back that way. He drives a Ford like mine. Carter's been playing with that pickaroon and splitting a little bit.
Got better at
He's got this wood here split. And Curtis just gave me a moisture mirror, so that's neat. We were checking some of this wood, and it is wet. The way it sits, some of it was at 30 moisture content, 30%, 35, and some of it was lower. But anyways, I'm gonna get the split now. It's shaded, but I'm gonna try to get at least this trailer filled up if I can. So I'm gonna try to push a pace if I can. That was Curtis, though. Me and him was talking for a while there about wood and stuff. He's, I think, considering getting into wood full time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Gotta be knot in it. Split that with ease.
Get the wood here, get it up, put that there, and then split. What I've got so far, I'm playing human loader today. Here's some big rounds of white oak, and what was happening was I split some in the middle, forgot my slats again, but it's going to get dark on me. So before that happens, I wanted to get a trailer load of wood because I've got 2 sewed right now. Well, 1 trailer load and 1 truckload sewed. And I've got that all at home, but I want to keep accumulating too. So I've been having to load them. But now we're going to let Carter split a little bit, and I'm going to go back to loading. We're going to get out of here. Then we're going to head home. And those tools are fantastic, log oxen. And I'm not just saying that. Very handy. I like that pickaroon a lot more than I thought I would. What is that thing called?
The carrier.
The carrier. That carrier, that's really handy too, the carrier. And I plan to put the rest to use and make some videos on those. I want to do a video on the whole package, but today those 2 were really handy for me, that carrier there and the pickaroon. But we're gonna get back and let him split a little bit here and get this thing loaded and then head out before it gets dark. All right, there it is. So I wanted to get a load before it got dark, so I got a trailer load. Was not easy. These are big rounds, and some of them are really big rounds. But normally I split them, and that's what I was intending to do, but it ended up starting to get dark on me. I got some split there in the middle a little bit. Plus I was reviewing the tool too. I talked to Curtis, and then I was reviewing that tool. So that made things go a little slower, but anyways. Definitely tell I got a load back there.
Yeah, me too.
That is heavy. Heavy. All right, so here we go, leaving the stave mill. And I have a load on there. I mean, I've got a heavy load of wood. I don't know how many rounds I loaded. There's some split, and then there's some loaded too. But I hope it's at least a full cord. That's what I aim for at least. I've got 4 face cords sewed. I came later today because I wanted it to be a little shadier, which it was, which is much better. And me and Curtis talked for a while, and then I did kind of like some reviews, a little bit of a review on their log ox's pickaroon and what you call that? Carrier tool?
Yeah.
And their carrier tool. So and I really enjoy both, but and I'll plan to show that to you all. Definitely a great tool for somebody that's in the firewood business. Yeah, it'd be a great investment for you, no doubt about it. Whether you're out in the woods bucking up logs and trees, or at home, you know, in the wood yard with your hydraulic splitter or hand splitting like I am, it would be a great tool for you. I mean, many of them, all of them there are useful, no doubt about it. So, and I'll continue to share that as I learn more with the tools and everything. But it's so dark now you can hardly see me, so I'm just going to focus on driving. We're going to head home. We got a little ride ahead of us, and then tomorrow morning I've got a truckload to deliver, and the next day I have a whole cord to deliver, and we're going to just keep on keeping on from there, Lord willing. I love firewood and I love junk removal. Love my life, love my children and my wife. Love getting to speak to my friends, that you all on there. So very thankful for another day it was a blessing, truly. So you all be safe out there, and God bless.
Oh, and I feel like I can't go on. You deliver me. Oh, and the road is winding, way too long. You deliver me. You deliver me.
You doing, Angel? Big little wood.
Let it be known as surely that God hath made that same Jesus whom you crucified, both Lord and Christ. You realize today it was your sin and my sin that hung the Lord on the cross. You know what happened when Peter began to preach? And they said they were pricked in their heart. Amen. Something gets a hold of your heart and it begins to squeeze your heart. And God's wanting to dwell on the throne of your heart today, friend. Hey, listen, it's like an old picture we've got at one of our sister churches. They've got the Lord standing on the outside of a house. That's what this is, a house. It's a tabernacle. And He's got a picture of Him knocking on the door. Revelation, He said, behold, I stand at the door and I knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, He said, I'll come into him and I'll sup with him and you with me. But that picture's got the Lord knocking, Artie. And listen, I got to looking at that picture. There is no doorknob on the outside. The Lord won't break in. He won't barge in. He won't force His way in. And when Exodus 25, He told the people, He said, they that willingly give an offering, let them bring it. I believe we got to be willing to come unto the Lord. And I believe He's willing and able to give you a new heart.
All right, so we're going to Clay City, Kentucky now is where we're going, which is about 20 minutes away or so. And so I've got this truckload and it's going to a cabin. God's got a cabin. Look at Coolio over there.
Well, if you don't have Jesus, you don't have anything. If you don't have Jesus, you don't have a song to sing. So turn to the Savior, to the rugged cross you'll cling. If you don't have Jesus, then you don't have anything. You may have the finest mansion that's sitting on a hill. You may drive the biggest car that Detroit ever built. You may have $1 million and live just like a king. If you don't have Jesus, then you don't have anything. Oh, if you don't have Jesus, no, you don't have anything.
Back there. It looks like there's a creek back there. There's where we're going right there. All right, so that's gonna go in here. That'll fill that up. So here's the place, Creekside Retreat. The problem is this guy isn't here, which he did not tell me that he wouldn't be. Not that I recall. I have a Chime account, and he was asking me if I had Venmo and all. I don't do none of that stuff. I used to use something called Stripe when I did lawn care, because I had a service called QuickBooks, and so I used Stripe, but I don't mess with that. A lot of the times I didn't like Stripe because it took 3 days for me to get my money. Now when you're doing this, you want your pay. So anyways, he said he's gonna set the Chime thing up, and that's instant. So we'll see if he can get that set up, and then I'll unload. But otherwise, that'll be going back with me. A little soccer field here and everything. Nice area. Fire pit area. May look into renting this sometime, because me and my wife's been wanting to get a cabin, and this one's got a hot tub right there. So, and it's probably 30 minutes from me. Some big rounds of wood right there. Creek down there. There's some kind of structure up there on that mountain that looks like a hill. I guess you call it, but there's some kind of building up there. I'm gonna go look at this tree over here too. You can tell lawn care does this, but it looks like it's been a while since they've done it. It's a big tree. Oak. Big. That's probably it right there. So he's wanting me to give him a price, which I did, but I just seen pictures. It looks like somebody's already split some up over here too. This is all yeah, oak, pretty twisted. Man, that's some big rounds of wood though. Big heavy stuff.
What is that?
That one I'd probably cut like right in half. Make a couple big rounds out of it, 18-inch or something. Look at that. That is a big, big oak.
That's an oak.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be to split it?
I could split it. It'd make probably about a truckload of wood for him. Something like that. There was one time, believe it or not, I split 3 rounds from my neighbors. They were bigger than this, and they filled a whole 6-foot truck bed. 3 rounds did. I brought bigger pieces because he said something about it's not a campfire, it's a fire pit. They'll fit in that just fine, so that'll work just fine. Yeah, they'll fit in there easily, what I brought. Looks like it can fit about a 30-inch piece. Got a cover for it and everything, it's nice. And then the hot tub over there, so that's a very nice little couch area at night. So you could come out and get in a hot tub, and it's pretty private. Looks that, so they can only fit a face cord of wood. I didn't know the area that he meant. If I'd have brought a full cord, that definitely, I would have had to stack it down through there. A full cord, just stack it on that gravel or something. Because that's just made for a face cord right there. Actually, I don't even know if a face cord can fit in there where they've got that little roof on it too. Pretty neat how they did that, but that's not quite 4 feet tall. But so let's wait for him to reply, and then we'll plan to get this stuff filled in for him. And that's pretty up there though. Very pretty area here. Mm-hmm. We used to swing on those vines when we was little kids. A real big one, not that one that small, but getting a hot tub. Oh, just hold me. Oh.
Nice and hot.
Oh man, nice and oh my goodness.
Hot.
Where have these chairs been my whole life? Yeah, it's got like a perfect recline chair to just sit back in the sun and get a tan.
It's burning my butt.
I like these. So you can get cup holders, look. Swing out, look. Look.
What?
Yeah. What in the world?
Well, we've been all our lives.
All right, so we just did our live. We just finished our live here.
I love it.
This cabin. This is a beautiful place here, man. We're wanting to rent this. Volleyball net and stuff back there. Creekside retreat. And that's it. It is a nice place. Definitely want to come out here sometime and rent this. These are what they make out of those staves at the, let's see what that says on it actually. 63 it says right there. But there's the wood we delivered them. We filled their little rack thing in there, and then they had that left as well. I'm getting the call right now though, so I'm gonna answer that. All right, we just left that cabin, and I had a guy call me before I left there asking about firewood. Actually, he had heard that I was selling oak on something, he said, and it sounded like he was trying. I could tell when people are trying to jip me down and stuff, and I don't let that happen really. I met a guy here a while back to sell him a trailer, and he talked like he wanted it, and when we got there, he said, well, he tried to drop it down $100 on me. He said, I'll give you that for it, and I said, nope. I said, I ain't taking no less than this, and he said, I can't do that, and I said, all right, take care. And I got back in my vehicle and left. So I don't play those games. I'm not trying to be mean either. Being blunt isn't necessarily mean, you know. Some people take it that way, but it's too hard of work to give it away. But he said, well, how much are you calling a truckload? And I said a 6.5 foot truckload. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, I sell it by the cord as well, but I've got to use my trailer. I said, but that's no problem for me to sell it by cord. And he said, well, how much is that? And I said, that's 3 truckloads of wood, 6.5 foot truckloads. And then he kept going on and on. People like that, I've dealt with lots of different customers, so I know. And I understand too, you gotta try to get a good deal, but this is too hard of work to do for free or too cheap, especially if you're trying to do it for a living. You won't make it if you do it too cheap. you've got to maintain your equipment and all that stuff, and it's your body that wear and tears on. So I believe in being reasonable, but I also believe in not selling yourself short too, you know. But I could tell kind of by the way he was carrying himself that he was wanting me to give him a cheaper price or something, and I just straight up told him, I said, look, I'm not coming down no cheaper than what I got it. I said, it's too hard to work. I said, I sell it quite a bit, you know. And he said, well, I'll let you know if I want some in a week or two. So that's fine. I'd rather tell somebody like that, no thank you, and go on than to sell it to them too cheap. I ain't selling a full quart of wood for no less than $300. That's 3 truckloads of wood. That's a lot of wood. And I used to sell it for $70 a truckload when I got started, and I had quite a few people telling me that's too cheap. And in my county, I don't even charge for delivery, but if it's outside my county, which he was, it would be a little more. But anyways, we did the live back there. We sold that. That guy's got a cabin, so that's a good customer because that's consistent wood all year round. And then his friend is the one that told him about me. I haven't met his friend yet, but he said he's got numerous cabins, and so he'll probably ask him what he thinks of the wood and stuff like that. And I got to send him a picture. I just reminded me. I told him I'd send him a picture once I got it done, so I need to pull over and get that real quick. I got some footage of it, so I can take a screenshot and send it to him. That way I can confirm with him, because he's in Texas, the guy that paid me for that back there. And he paid me through Chime. I've got a Chime account, and it hit my bank account pretty much instantly. So I really like that little Chime thing, because people can pay you with that, customers, if they don't have cash on them, which is what I prefer a lot of times. I don't like to take checks. I don't like to take checks. But Chime, it's pretty much instant. And all I got to do is, you know, if they got a Chime account, is send it to them, type in their name. You know, I've got him saved in my contacts now as a Firewood customer. And I usually put FWC for Firewood customer and then their address. That way I know the next time I deliver to them where their address is, and I don't got to ask them for it all the time. So that's usually how I do it. And then all I've got to do is click in Chime his contact, and then send him the request to pay me in the amount. And then all he's got to do is click pay, and that pays it. So that works out really good. And it comes there. It don't take a day or 3 days or none of that. When you're working, you want your money. You know, you don't want it 3 days later. You get this gas I'm using gas now, you know, I'm using my tools and stuff now. I'm eating now, so y'all don't want my money a week later or anything like that. So, and I understand that. I've done that. I've got paid weekly and even bi-weekly before working for people. But when you're working for yourself, I like to get paid instantly, or at least when the job's done. So I don't like to have to wait. But anyways, we're heading home now. It's the 4th of July. I hope y'all are having a good one. Hope you're blessed. And I was mentioning on that live something I believe we should do, because I've got people in my family that I would say that I've got kind of hard feelings with right now. Like I'm bothered towards them, you know, because I know how they are and how they carry themselves and how they was the last time I was around them. But I was saying that I think you should try to fix things with people while you can, and I do believe that. But there's also some people that's unreasonable. I've went to people before trying to fix things, and rather than it getting fixed, they tried to make it worse. And some people are like that, and you can't do anything about that. All you can do is, you know, carry yourself the way that you should. You can't control how they carry themselves. So I do know some people like that, but I do believe that we should at least apologize if we've done something wrong. You know, even if they don't want to make amends and everything, we should at least apologize if we did wrong to them and getting hateful with them or anything. Just apologize, and if they're going to be hard-hearted like that, just move on. But at least we did what we know we needed to do. So, because I know it's bad. You know, it would be bad if, say you had a grudge with a family member or something, and they died, or you died and they had a grudge against you, then they've got to carry that the rest of their lives, right? Or you've got to carry it the rest of your life. You know, it's something that I don't think anybody would want to carry that. And but just kind of like the Bible says, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Don't even let the day end without fixing things. If you know that you're mad and stuff like that, don't go to bed angry. Try to fix things before you even go to bed, because you may not wake up the next day. So that's a scripture from the Bible. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. So we're going to head on home now. Going to turn right here. We're in Clay City here. We got fireworks over there for sale. And we're heading home. I hope you all have a good one. I think this video is going to be long enough. We've had a lot going on here lately. We've been doing junk removal, landscaping, firewood, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And so, and more than anything else, I want to acknowledge God in all of my ways. I want to put Him above everything else. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Well, whatever's in our heart, it's going to come out. It's going to reveal itself. It's going to roll right off of our tongue. So I want to make sure that I'm acknowledging God. I know some people don't like that, but that's what mankind needs to do in the end. That's what it says. You know, Jesus, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. So even when it comes to things that aren't popular so much among people, if it's right, we need to do it. That's what it comes down to in the end. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And we need to stand on what is right. So that's what I want to do with my life, regardless of the consequences. I already know there's going to be consequences. The Bible tells you that whosoever will live godly in Christ Jesus will face persecution. Will face persecution, not you might. You will. And I have not resisted unto blood, as the Bible says, you have not resisted unto blood. So we've had it easy. You know, lots of us have it easy. There's people getting killed for standing on the truth. We've got it easy right now. And the only way that you can continue to stand on the truth and endure when you're tried in those kind of times is you have to have God on the inside. So he'll be a friend that'll go with you always, even to the end, so long as you'll let him. But we're going to get off here now. We're going to head on home. I hope y'all have a blessed day with your family and loved ones if you get together. And be kind to one another and love one another, you know, and fix things with one another. That's how it should be. But I wish you all the best. I'm going to get off here. I've talked enough. You all be safe out there, and God bless.